Ludwig's Castle, Part 2. To help him with the design, Ludwig hired Christian Jenk, a man who worked designing backdrops for operas and other performances. Jenk understood that Ludwig wanted a fantasy castle, but one with as many modern conveniences as could be had in the 1860s. For example, there was hot and cold running water, toilets that flushed, and an air circulation system that helped maintain the temperature in the castle. There was even electricity used in some areas. These features were very unusual for that time and in that place. But Ludwig was a dreamer, and he wanted his castle to be perfect. He also wanted it to be a place that honored the music of his great friend, Richard Wagner. He included a singer's hall for performances of the operas that Wagner would write, and throughout the castle, the walls were painted with scenes from operas already written. Because Ludwig wanted to supervise every part of the building, the work went very slowly. In fact, parts of it were never completed at all. A royal mystery. Ludwig's dreaming helped him create one of the most famous castles in the world, but dreamers do not always make good kings. Ludwig loved the people of Bavaria, but he did not like having the serious responsibility that came with being king. Budgeting, fighting wars, and politics in general were things that simply did not interest him. Although many Bavarians loved him and even called him their Unser König, or our darling king, the people who held high positions in government grew impatient with Ludwig, who would rather be thinking about his castle than talking with his own government advisors. When they tried to get his attention, Ludwig threatened to fire all of them, just so they would stop bothering him. Before he could do that, however, the advisors decided to fire him instead. They worked out a secret plan to make Ludwig's uncle, Prince Luitpold, take his place as the new king. In order to make this happen, they needed to convince everyone that Ludwig had gone crazy and could no longer rule. The advisors found doctors who agreed to declare that Ludwig was mentally ill, even though they had never even met him. At 4 a.m. on June 12, 1886, the government advisors, along with the doctors, arrived at Neuschwanstein and arrested Ludwig. They told him that he was no longer king and would be sent far away to live in a lonely castle for the rest of his life. He was amazed that the doctors could have decided he was mentally ill without even examining him. But he could not do anything to stop them, and he was taken away to Castle Berg, near the city of Munich. Leaving Neuschwanstein was the hardest thing Ludwig ever had to do. Heartbroken, he saw that his dreams were lost. 2 days after being taken away from his beloved castle, Ludwig was dead, his body found in the shallow lake near the castle where he was held prisoner. It was never known whether he was murdered or had taken his own life. A sad end for the lonely dreamer who would rather build castles than be king. Neuschwanstein today. Ludwig's castle was never completely finished, but so many people had heard of the amazing, beautiful palace that it was opened to the public in 1886. Since then, over 50 million people have journeyed to the lonely hilltop to see Ludwig's dream castle. It has appeared in movies such as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm, and as we know, was the inspiration for Sleeping Beauty's castle, created by another great dreamer, Walt Disney. So the dream lives on. Ludwig would be proud.